Welcome to the Mr. Skin Podcast, your weekly dose of what's new and what's nude in movies, TV, and Hollywood's sexiest stars. Now get ready for your host, the world's foremost authority on celebrity nudity, Mr. Skin.
The legendary Mr. Skin.
Dude, Mr. Skin.
MrSkin.com.
Skin, everybody.
Coast to coast, from Los Angeles, Chicago, and New York, it's the Mr. Skin Podcast with your hosts, Mr. Skin and Andrea Lowell. We want to hear from you. Call the show and leave us a voicemail at 484-SKIN-POD. Find all things Mr. Skin Podcast online at MrSkinPodcast.com.
Hey, welcome to the Mr. Skin Podcast, sponsored by Stream8.com, the global leader in live streaming, with the hottest porn stars and amateurs broadcasting live directly from their bedroom to yours. Stream8 creates a totally unique and intimate experience where you get to direct the show however you want. With an endless variety of performers, you're sure to find your perfect match on Stream8.com. The question is, are you ready? Hey, Skin, how are you? Welcome to episode 172.
Yeah, I'm great, Andrea. How are you?
I'm so good. Now, I didn't look at anything yet, but I saw just the juiciness of everything. It looks like we have a pretty stacked show ahead.
Yeah, like every week it is. The hard part for me is always
Whittling
just
it
trying
down.
to narrow it down. Yeah, what am I going to talk about? And I don't want to get too obscure. I do like my foreign international skin, but I don't want to get too obscure. I want to try to stay with the shows that people out there that come to MrSkin.com know. But man, there was some real good foreign fur, if you will, this week. So yeah, we'll get to that. But
I love that.
Yeah, let me start with the Deuce, which I usually do because let me see. Okay, so it airs on Monday. So there are 5 episodes in, or no, there's 6 episodes in. Oh, I get confused. But here's the bottom line with the Deuce, is that the Deuce has been, and I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago, probably the most consistent show, maybe in the history of television, for something that's aired on a major network for 3 seasons, as far as just nudity, as far as just not just quality, but also the quantity. In other words,
right.
Every single episode of the first season of The Deuce, which, by the way, is about the sex and prostitution industry in Manhattan, New York City in the 70s, and now we're into the 80s with the VHS era, the adult industry. First season, every episode had nudity, and I'm not talking about uncredited background nudity. I'm talking about the stars of the show,
right?
People you would know, like Maggie Gyllenhaal, Margarita Laviva, all the girls that are the regular characters.
Yeah,
Emily
the stars
Meade.
of the show. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the stars of the show got naked. So we did a thing a couple weeks ago where we were looking at it, and even in the one episode in 3 seasons where the main stars didn't get naked, well, I should say that there's been 2 episodes in 3 seasons where the main episode, the main stars didn't get naked, but even in those, there was uncredited nudity. So it's pretty much, if you tune into The Deuce, you're going to see somebody naked, somebody hot. And lately, Emily Meade this season's been doing some really good nudity, and you could see her. She's up on stage doing some pole dancing and stripping.
I'm watching her now. This is incredible.
She's really really beautiful actress, and she's at our website for a bunch of different movies she's been naked in, some that are would absolutely blow your mind. But she was also in Boardwalk Empire. She played actually, it's funny because she played a prostitute who had a very tough thing happen to her in Boardwalk Empire, and I really love that show, Boardwalk Empire. But anyway, it's like all the characters on this show, one of the, like I say, one of the great things about, about this show is just the main characters carrying the heavy load and doing the nudity. So, Emily Meade in season 5 last week, up on stage, topless, great stuff. But, it's funny, this, episode 6, while we were gone, had uncredited nudity. And now tonight, episode 7 will air. And by the way, The Deuce, it's we got a couple episodes to go, and then they're shutting it down, which is kind of
I know,
a bummer.
that's so sad. I will tell you about this featured scene that we're talking about with Emily Meade up on stage in some sort of strip club. I'm assuming she's a feature dancer. She is incredible at stripping. I'm watching this scene and I'm kind of just waiting for it to stop or go into a loop. It's an extended scene of her really teasing the crowd and then like unleashing her titties, and the crowd goes berserk, but she's got moves, and I didn't know she had an ass like that either. I was like, I knew she had great boobs, but I don't really see her butt too much. So this leather thong and this leather corset bra, bikini thing, whatever that is, that she's stripping out of is hotter than hell.
Yeah, she's got a great body, and like I said, she's been naked in quite a few things. You could also check out a movie called Burning Palm. She did you want to see the best ass ever now that I think about it. She did a movie called Nerve in 2016 where she was in a cheerleader outfit, no panties, and flashed the audience.
No.
And Andrea, it's one of the hottest butt scenes you're ever going to see. Yeah, it actually won an Anatomy Award that year.
Then
it was just
a
stunning nude scene. Yeah. So, and by the way, speaking of that, in episode 6, Emily Meade was in a cheerleading outfit because she was on the set of a porn shoot.
Ooh.
So she's you really dig her. She's really hot and not afraid to show it off. So anyway, I want to move on from the Deuce to get to a show called Haunted. Do you know about this show Haunted on Netflix?
I don't know, because there's so many shows that are kind of like scary. I'm not sure. Maybe.
Well, it's really weird because and I don't even understand how they do. Real quick, if you have a second, CP just showed the butt scene from Nerve of Emily Meade. How hot is
the Anatomy Award-winning pantyless cheerleading ass flash scene?
Oh my god!
Heard around the world. So, wow, I'm zoomed in. I'm zoomed in.
It's really good. But anyway, so getting back to Haunted, so. I just don't understand how this works because I haven't seen the show. I've seen that there's been 2 nude scenes in 2 seasons. So it's called Haunted, and it's so what they do is they take real people and they sit down with friends and family and they share true stories, quote, and I'm doing the fingers quotes, true stories of terrifying events that continue to haunt them. So like their own kind of personal ghost stories, I guess. But from what I heard, because I was asking some people here that go through it, and I do want to say season 2 on Netflix, we went through it, and there was some really nice toplessness from a girl named Sarah Swain, nobody that you would remember, but what they do is they get actresses, to act out these these stories,
like scary reenactments, these ghost stories. Yeah. Well,
they're supposed to be real, which makes it supposedly extra scary. But here's the thing, because I went to IMDb and I was trying to learn more about Haunted, and I read where like guys were like, okay, if these stories that really happened, like wouldn't they be in the news or all over social media or something like that? Now, I don't know. I haven't seen the show, and I was just wondering if you knew anything about it. Because
no.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's supposed to be a reality show where people share their real stories. Hey, listen. I knew Penthouse Forum was fake, but I still love Penthouse Forum.
Right.
It's fine. But I'm just wondering if these are true stories, wouldn't we have maybe heard about them in the news or, Yeah.
I think, but again, I don't know. I remember, one of my favorite shows back in the day was like I Shouldn't Be Alive. And those were true stories, and they had reenactments, and a lot of that stuff, it might make the local news of that city or state that it's in, but it's not going to go national, because it's not worthy of national news. So that could be it, or it's just, bunch of baloney.
Yeah, well, I think, we have Halloween coming up. I saw Haunted in our channel where we do all the TV shows because they released it in the last week or so for season 2. So I thought I'd talk about it on the podcast. But I guess the reality depends on whether or not you believe in ghosts. That's number one. But so basically the show is people tell their stories and actors play them out in dramatizations. Sounds cool, sounds scary. And in each season, they don't have a ton of nudity. Season 1 had this Czech actress named Vanda Chalapakova, topless, which was a really nice scene. And then this Sarah Swain that you could see here,
she's hot.
Really good, really tough scene. So, and these aren't like famous actresses, or like up and coming actresses or actors trying to make it in the biz, I guess. But Anyway, it's called Haunted. They just released season 2 on Netflix. You could check it out. And there is nudity, which, of course, made me want to talk about it. So,
right on.
yeah, I wanted to get into I guess it's a foreign show. It's a French TV show. And it just caught my eye because the girl that got naked in it in season 2, now this airs on Netflix, it's called The Hookup Plan. Mm-hmm. And it's a French TV show about this woman played by Zita Hanrod, she's heartbroken over her ex, okay? And I guess her girlfriends decide enough's enough. She's really bummed out. Let's secretly hire an escort to seduce her, a really good-looking guy. And it's kind of a cool thing. Like, in other words,
I'm loving it.
Yeah. But I guess the plan doesn't go too well because then the friends get jealous and the guy's really hot and they try to bang him and stuff. So anyway, it's called The Hookup Plan. And so I was looking at it last week when it was, our people were going through it because we go through everything that Netflix puts out. And I noticed this actress played by Josephine Dry, obviously a French actress. She's one of the characters in it, topless. And I was like, holy jeez, I got to talk about this on the pod. What a rack on this girl.
I mean, they're big. They're good shape. They're wide. You can tell that they weigh a little bit. If you
I was going to say, my feelings on big naturals.
Yes,
Andrea.
Eiffel Towers.
Yes. Yeah, very good French tie-in, but yeah. So this The Hookup Plan. They released season 2. We went through it. There were a few things, but this really caught my eye. And it's funny that the star of the show, Zita Hanrod, didn't get naked, which is weird for a French television show, but she's nude we have her in a French movie or two already at our website. You can see her topless if you check out this show and are a little frustrated that she didn't do nudity. But man, I really love this Josephine Dry, who has awesome boobs and showed them off in an episode or 2 of that. So really good stuff.
Yeah, good find, Skin.
Yeah. I know. It's just so much stuff out there now. Do you know what about the show Insatiable? Does that ring a bell on Netflix? Do you know this show?
No.
Okay, so Insatiable. It's about this teen played by Debbie Ryan who used to be bullied. She was overweight, nerdy, and anyway, she decides she loses weight. I guess something happened and her jaw was wired shut and she lost weight and she became like a really hot babe. And
I know a couple people that's happened to.
Yeah, she gets her revenge. She becomes a beauty queen and making all the people that bullied her suffer. And it sounds like a really cool show. I haven't watched it. And what caught my eye about this is that they just released the 2nd season on Netflix, and there's tons of hot babes in their hot actresses in their underwear, including Alyssa Milano, which I was wondering what Alyssa Milano is up to. But anyway, she had a scene in here. Now, I want to point out, Insatiable in 2 seasons, we have tons of content on it at Mr. Skin, but it's all really hot actresses in their underwear. It's not nude. So I want to say that first and foremost. But there's a scene where Alyssa Milano is in her bra and panties and she's about to have a 3-way with these 2 guys. And one of her kids wasn't supposed to be home and he comes home and is, he's saying, and anyway, it's a funny scene, but boy, she's still looking great, Alyssa Milano.
Of course she is. And even if she wasn't, I still would think she was just because, she's everyone's crush from, was that show Charles in Charge? Who's the Boss? Which one was it?
Who's the boss?
Yeah, one of those. Yeah. Oh my God. Everyone wanted to either date her or, or be her in that era. So she's, she just has a special spot in all of our hearts. But she's aging well. I'll give her that.
Yeah. And it's interesting because I guess this is now someone from the office here told me that, and because I haven't seen the show, but this is pretty, even for 2019, this is pretty daring. So this 3-way she was going to have, her husband has a boyfriend on the side.
Oh.
So he's like, bi, which, you don't see that too often, I got to say, on television. And it was going to be the two guys and her in bed. So this could have gone like all different directions. So yeah. But they were all going to be together, which is cool. She was in her bra and panties, which caught my attention. But what they call that? What do you call it when it's
two guys and a girl?
Two guys and a girl.
That's also an Eiffel Tower.
Which I'm
not even joking. It is
a thruple. They call it is it a thruple? Where
that's a threesome couple. So if they're all together in union, then that's a throuple. But if it's just sexual,
or an MMF, male, female.
Yeah.
So yeah. But anyway, so yeah, it's pretty crazy. So like I said, even for 2019, that's pretty advanced stuff. And it's weird because this is Netflix and no one's gotten naked. And that Debbie Ryan, the star of the show,
she's way
has
hot.
yet to do what's that?
Debbie Ryan, I like her.
Yeah, she's really, really, really beautiful. She just has yet. She's yet to do a. She's yet to do a nude scene, and a lot of a lot of bra and panty stuff, but never nude. But we'll keep you posted. So anyway, that's a show Insatiable from Netflix. Wanted to talk about, and one other thing for sure I wanted to get to was that Godfather of Harlem.
Oh, okay.
That show from Epix, and Epix is one of those you got to have. I know DirecTV has it. It depends where you are that you'll have Epix, but it's that show starring Forrest Whitaker as Bumpy Johnson, who was a Harlem gangster in the 60s. And I talked to you before their second episode. They're about 4 episodes in now. And they had a really great topless scene from Maria Rose Baramo. But this Antoinette Crow Legacy, who plays Elise on the show, had a montage like drug use, shoplifting thing, and she's caught by a couple of security guards and they harass her in an interrogation room, and the guard kind of lifts up her skirt and she's in a thong, and it's like, wow, this show's been really showing some really hot girls, actresses we are kind of new to Mr. Skin, which is great. They're newcomers at our site, but 3 or 4 episodes in, and Godfather of Harlem's been a cool new show from Epix for nudity for our website.
Excellent. And what a kinky scene. I know she's like caught by security, but bent over with these garter belt things hanging out and her bare ass. I'm loving that. I know.
It's it's a very hot scene though. At the same time, the police are kind of doing illegal stuff to her, but whatever.
Well, I'm not seeing that one I'm looking at.
I know. It's just a hot babe bent over with.
That's what I'm focusing on.
Really, really good stuff. So, anyway, the show's called Godfather of Harlem on Epix. And speaking of Epix, there's a show called Get Shorty on Epix that I don't think I've talked to you about it in a while. They're in their third season, and there was the 1995 movie with Gene Hackman and John Travolta, which was kind of, I know a lot of people, so Barry Sonnenfeld directed it, and it was a funny movie, but it kind of strayed a bit from Elmer Leonard's book, and supposedly, and I feel bad that I can't say I've watched it because I am a fan of the book, but the television show on Epix is more in line with the book, supposedly, which hopefully I'll get around to watching it. But I can tell you this, they've had some really, really good nudity on Get Shorty. In fact, you'll get longy if you watch the show. But
there he is.
So this Chris O'Dowd plays the Miles character. He's like a low-ranking mobster, and he travels to Hollywood. That's the gist of the book. And he wants to shake down a movie producer. This time it's played by Ray Romano. And anyway, they become kind of partners, and that's what the Epix TV show is about and who stars in it. But we were just looking at, and I'm not, it's funny, we get things sometimes before they actually air, but the latest episode, I think it's episode 4, that's Megan Stevenson has a topless scene riding Chris O'Dowd, and oh my God, is this a hot nude scene from her? Really gorgeous. She's really gorgeous. Yeah,
she's incredible. Her body is insane.
Isn't it?
You can't see 100% of everything, but you can tell that she is totally shaved. She's amazing. Now, do we know her from somewhere else? Because I feel like she looks familiar, but I can't really tell.
Oh, you're asking about Megan Stevenson?
Yes, I'm obsessed with her. Who is this?
she's not like she's not in any way like super well known, but she was like she did some good nudity on Californication, but she wasn't like a lead character on that.
Okay.
And I'm trying to think where else you might know her. She's more of I'd call her more of a bit actress. You know, she's not, definitely not a lead character, but I know she was in a movie called Cavemen. Definitely on Californication a few times. Really hot. She played a really hot character in that. So, but she's not, like I said, she's not someone I could say, oh yeah, you'd remember her from this. Up until Get Shorty, Californication's what I knew her the best, you know?
Yes. Okay, cool. Well, thank you for that, because I'm like, where can I see more of her?
Yeah, you need more. But she was nude in Californication, so you could check that out. So,
okay, cool.
Anyway, the show Get Shorty, and there was another actress in the I think it was in episode 2, Stephanie Bueno, who was topless, and muy bueno on those breasts too from her. So
Right?
really good.
Muy
Good.
bueno.
Yeah, the Epix Network coming through with Godfather of Harlem and Get Shorty, and that was a show that also had Graves, was another show from Epix. So they're doing pretty well with their original programming, and just another example of us trying to keep up with all this stuff. But we've last couple of episodes of the podcast, we've had some good Epix stuff to talk about, which is awesome. So,
yeah, I'm loving this stuff.
Yeah, so I have another show that I wanted you to check out called Modern Love, which is a Amazon show. And Modern Love is the series. Now, do you know anything about this? Because this is another one that I thought maybe you might know about. It's based on another one. It's kind of like Haunted, and it's based on true stories. But this is in the New York Times column about love and relationships. Yeah,
see, it's stuff that with like the name Modern Love, like I wouldn't even look at it just because like the title. You know what I mean? So you're actually you're helping me understand that the things that I skip by because I think they might be hokey or like some rom-com are actually much better than what I thought.
Yeah, there's a column in the New York Times called Modern Love. And so these are supposedly true stories, in this thing. And then, so they made a Amazon show where actors and actresses act out these things. And I mean, I know Tina Fey's in it, John Slattery. So it's got a pretty decent big name cast. No question about it. But the actors and actresses so far that we've seen, there was one in there, and can you see this one of Sophia Boutella, because she is so freaking hot?
Oh yeah, the blonde. I mean,
oh my god,
a natural blonde, but blonde nonetheless. Super. I'm obsessed. She's so cute. Like she's pretty and cute and sexy.
Does that name ring a bell? Sophia Boutella?
No, it
does not.
No.
Do you remember? There was a movie called Atomic Blonde.
Yes.
With Charlize Theron.
Yes.
She was the girl that she did that hot makeout scene. Incredibly, well, more than that. She was grabbing Charlize Theron was grabbing tatas, and they were in bed.
Oh, that's how I make out skin.
That won our best lesbian. Yeah, that won our best lesbian scene of 2017.
I don't recognize her at all.
Oh yeah, well she's a French actress. I mean, she's not a famous actress, but she's the same girl. And isn't this a sexy scene with her panties in this Modern Love?
Oh my god,
this one really caught my eye when we were going through all the TV stuff from the last week. I really thought, and the angle she's at, at first I didn't notice it was Sophia Boutella because she looks different than she did in Atomic Blonde. But oh my god, what a body on her!
Yeah, I mean, seriously, what I'm loving about this too, initially, not only is she wearing just like a tiny bra and panty set, but the underwear are completely sheer. This is before she even starts to take them off. So anytime I see sheer underwear on anyone, I'm already a big fan of the scene no matter what. And then she goes to turn around and she starts shimming the underwear down, and then you see some booty. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, so, and I have to say, without seeing Modern Love, because it just came out the first season.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess it's a little more believable than Haunted, because I think these sex stories, right? These modern sex stories are going to be more credible. But in each case, I'm excited that we have new shows that they're almost in a sense sort of kind of like reality shows, sort of. It's reality acted out by actors. Actresses. So it's a cool
Modern
thing.
Love is a column actually in the New York Times, and it's based on real cool kinky stuff. I may actually check it out. So thank you, Skin, for teaching, I'm sure just more than me, on judging this book by its cover.
And it's an anthology, like comedy drama, so you're going to get different actors and actresses in each episode. You're not locked into any
genre.
People are going to act out. Different characters are going to act out, but boy, does that Sophia Boutella look great! I think I'm thinking about that being in consideration for maybe best butt of 2019.
I mean, it's an amazing butt.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. Oh, good. CP and that's, you can see why I had a little trouble figuring out. She's a brunette in Atomic Blonde. So yeah, it's kind of, she looks a little different. But anyway,
so hot though. What an incredible scene that was. That I'll never forget.
Anyway, and then one of the last things
Oh yeah. Skin.
The Wheel of Skin. Yes, this is the part of the Mr. Skin. The music. This is the part of the Mr. Skin podcast where CP, my EP, spins the wheel of skin. We have over 30,000 actresses at MrSkin.com, and he picks a actress who hopefully, Andrea, you've heard of, but even if you haven't,
I'll learn something.
You'll learn something. But I, of course, play Pat St. Jackoff in this, and you are
Badger White, of course,
right? And this is a Merkin Griffin production, and it's always, I do love this because he always pulls up someone that, in a lot of cases, that's someone I haven't thought of in a while, but I always am able to share, Andrea, their skinography with you. And CP, why don't you spin the wheel of skin?
Okay. We have Minka Kelly.
Ooh, you know who she is, right?
Yes. She, to me, is just so pretty in such a soft, delicate, feminine way. You know what I mean? Tell me all about her skinography, please, Mr. Skin.
Well, first of all, she's one of the most beautiful actresses.
Yes.
I don't know if you consider it more of a TV actress or a movie actress, but my God, is she gorgeous. And I know there's lots of guys that have been asking me about Minka Kelly for a long time.
Yeah,
a couple little trivia things about her. Do you know that her dad was it was in Aerosmith?
No.
Yeah, not Steven Perry. No,
so awesome.
Or Steven Tyler or Joe Perry, but Rick. Is it Duffy or Duffy, or I don't know how you pronounce it, but he was a guitarist for Aerosmith.
That's so rad.
Yeah, I think it's pronounced Duffy, and he, I guess, hooked up. It was either like a Vegas showgirl or a exotic dancer, but the bottom line is
Minka Kelly's what came out. This is the bottom line.
yeah. I guess this guy replaced Joe Perry for a few years, but anyway, so in the early 80s, this guitarist from Aerosmith and this exotic dancer have a baby, and it turns out to be Minka Kelly. It's their only kid. And I know lately I saw her on that show Titans. It's a DC Universe show. That's that streaming service that I've talked to you about. And by the way, before I get into her actual nudity, her character did a nude scene on Titans, but we are 99.99% sure it was a body double. She showed butt in the scene. The way they shot it, it was very, it just was an obvious body double. But if that's a bummer, and by the way, she played Lila on Friday Night Lights. That's what, like, everyone, that was actually a very, very good show, and she became super popular from that show. But I had been asked about her, probably since Friday Night Lights started. I was asked about her probably 5-6 years straight. Has Minka Kelly ever been nude? When will Minka Kelly do a nude scene? Because Friday Night Lights started like in 2006. So you got to imagine. So like for like almost 10 years, I'm asked this on the radio, people emailing our website. Then a movie in 2016 comes out called Papa Hemingway in Cuba, and Giovanni Ribisi plays this journalist, and there's this I can't remember the guy that played Hemingway, but it's about his time that he spent in Cuba around sometime in the late 50s. And she has Minka Kelly plays a, I don't know if it's the girlfriend or someone that hooks up with Giovanni Ribisi. They go for a skinny dip.
Ooh,
about 24 minutes in to the movie, and he gets completely naked first, runs in the water. She starts stripping. Oh my God! Even though it's dark, but it's the moon. No pun intended. It's moonlit. She shows her ass. Going, oh my God, is it sexy? And like I said, it's not a full frontal nude scene, but my God, does she look great? And it's the only place yet to see Minka Kelly naked. The name of the movie is Papa Hemingway in Cuba from 2016.
I will tell you, she, to me, I don't know her statistics, but she seems like a very petite little tiny thing, but she's so teeny weeny to me, at least in my perception, but she has these killer curves. Like, she has such a nice, round, but small, petite yet voluptuous booty. And that's one of the things I've always noticed about her, aside from her, very beautiful face, is the fact that she has a killer ass. So when we see it in all of its glory here, lit by the moon.
Yeah.
and she's running. It's like, oh my God. She, even in full motion, because usually when someone's running naked, it's not that hot, but you got Minka Kelly running naked and we're like, I'm drooling over here.
And this was 10 years after she debuted on Friday Night Lights. And I'll say that she even looked hotter in this, because this is it's so ridiculous. So anyway, Papa Hemingway in Cuba, you could see Minka Kelly naked, and the sun won't be the only thing rising in that. So yeah. Anyway, that's a great question, CP.
Right on.
Minka Kelly for our Wheel of Skin this week. So
cool.
a Merkin Griffin production, of course. So hey, a couple last things I wanted to get in. The show Exit, this Norwegian drama about the secretive and luxurious world of the financial sector in Oslo. I mean, Jesus, how obscure can I get for the podcast? But I don't care, because the babes in this are so hot. Look at these girls who I didn't know any of them. We added them to the website recently, and we found this from some Norwegian TV station, and somehow got on MrSkin.com last week. But for anyone out there, please check out a show called Exit, this Norwegian drama, and you will not believe how we always knew girls from Norway were beautiful, but boy, they got all these hot Norwegian women to get naked in this, and thongs and topless, and it's really amazing. I don't know anything about what it's about. But,
I don't care either. Yeah, I just look at,
they're all on yachts and stuff.
This is Babelicious. Now, this might be a little forward, or I'd say inappropriate, but nothing's really inappropriate on our show. This Julie Chantal Levin Erickson, whatever her name is. Am I seeing butthole?
Oh, I'm gonna have to.
I think I'm seeing something extra going in the crack, and I think we're seeing.
It's too dark to make that call, no pun intended. But no pun intended. I don't know if I'm gonna go there and say that's butthole. It's kind of high to be butthole, don't you? Isn't it kind of high to be butthole? Do you feel that's? Yeah,
it seems high to be butthole, but different ethnicities have different shapes of booties, and maybe the Norwegians have really tiny butts, and maybe it's just higher. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, I can tell you this: I have Norwegian wood looking at this as the great Beatles song. So anyway, I am loving this show.
Okay, cool.
It's called
I'm
Exit.
loving the stills.
I know nothing about it other than there's hot Norwegian babes on it, and we just put all these up at MrSkin.com, and you can check it out.
And maybe we put it to the listeners. 484 Skin Pod. What do you think? Is this a Norwegian starfish, or is it not? Let us know.
Yeah, the actress name is Julie Chantal Levin Erickson.
That's right.
Good luck finding that. But anyway, the show's called Exit, which is easy to find at our website, and you could look all these actresses up. Of course, like I said, none of which I had ever heard of before, but now I am big fans of all these Norwegian hotties, because they really, really look great.
Right on.
Anyway, a couple of things I wanted to get to. while we were gone, Andrea, they released a movie on 4K Blu-ray called Red Heat.
Okay.
It's a movie from 1985. Now, I do not want you to confuse it with the 1988 buddy cop flick Red Heat with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jim Belushi.
Okay.
That is not what we're talking about. But this Red Heat from 1985 has one of the greatest. It's a woman in prison movie, not exactly like Chained Heat was 1983. But this is one of my favorite shower scenes, woman in prison shower scenes ever, is in this Red Heat. And both Chained Heat, the greatest woman in prison movie of all time, and Red Heat have some of the greatest woman group shower scenes ever.
And what
amazing.
A group.
And in both instances,
wow. Yeah.
Linda Blair. In both instances, Linda Blair.
Both?
Yes, in both instances, Linda Blair topless. And if you don't know, we have Halloween coming up, but probably a lot of airings of The Exorcist will be on television the next week or so.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the scariest horror movie of all time.
I agree.
But she was the little girl in The Exorcist. She grew up in the 80s and got topless in a few movies. And oh my God, would you say those are D naturals or what?
I'm leaning double D on that.
You're double D in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the thing is, when they're natural like that, they're always a little misjudged on the smaller side because we're so used to the high full projection of implants that we get a little confused over the actual size of real boobs. I think those are double delicious. They're very amazing. They might even be bigger in different, just kind of areas of her life. But in this movie I'm looking at, the Red Heat, I'm thinking very close to a double D.
Yeah, and it was definitely a ripoff of the original Chained Heat, which me and many people consider the greatest women in prison movie of all time. They even released this in foreign countries as Chained Heat too, like copyright laws weren't what they are today. But in both movies, Linda Blair was topless, and they released this. And by the way, Sylvia Christel from Emmanuel is the Wicked Warden in Red Heat. And
Dude,
look at
this
CP
just keeps getting better and better.
I know. CP just posted a picture. I didn't even have that in the update. So, so this movie just came out on 4K Blu-ray, and it's really cool. Like, it just seems like every once in a while a classic movie and I don't know how they make the decision to release these things. Like, I don't know what the decision process is like. How did they choose this movie of all movies? Because you don't get a lot of these, but boy, every once in a while they'll release one that you can now see in the highest of definition, which is really awesome. And Linda Blair looks awesome, and Sylvia Christel. So that's really cool. I wanted to share that with you. Really excited about that.
That's just a win-win-win.
Yeah,
excellent.
No, it's awesome. And last but not least, I got two little other things I wanted to talk to you about.
Okay.
Did you see last week by chance 73-year-old Suzanne Summers posing nude on Instagram? She did like I don't want to say it was a selfie. Yes.
One, I don't follow Suzanne Summers on Instagram, and two,
okay. Well, it was in the news.
I'm gonna follow her now.
Yeah, it was in the news. She's like in a prairie. I don't know where the hell she is.
I gotta look this up on my IG.
It was for her 73rd birthday in her birthday suit, and she's like, it's strategic. You can't really see her nude, but. Yeah. I hadn't thought about her in a while, but she showed up, and
I love her. Oh my God.
I just love that she had the balls to do that. It was really cool. It was a big deal in the news last week, and I wanted to share it with you. And I have some Suzanne Summers trivia, which I'm sure you'll be interested in. So,
lay it on me, man.
Well, of course, she was, from Three's Company.
One of my fave shows. I also own a Thigh Master. Bring it on me, Skin.
Yeah. You were a big Three's Company fan, no question about it. And she played Chrissy Snow. Mm-hmm. And I'll say that other than Farrah Fawcett for TV actresses in the 70s, for hot guys being excited about it, I'd say Suzanne Summers was number 2 in the 70s for babes. I would say, and that show was super popular.
And she looks the same today. I'm on her Instagram right now. I'm blown away. She looks the same as she did on Three's Company. Whatever she's doing, she needs to keep doing it because it's insane.
Yeah, jiggle TV, if you will, right? And
yes.
Yeah, she was like the blonde bombshell. It's in
And
the
so
1970s,
fun,
she
yeah.
was bigger than big. And what was interesting is, so that show, she became a star. She went from nowhere to a star in 1976 when she got the gig on Three's Company. But what had happened was, in 1973, there was a Clint Eastwood movie called Magnum Force.
Mm-hmm.
And she was an unknown actress, unknown to the point where she was actually uncredited when the movie came out, Magnum Force. But there was a pool party scene, a skinny dip scene at the 27-minute mark where the then unknown actress,
OMG.
yeah, unknown actress Suzanne Summers went skinny dipping. And it wasn't a big deal because no one knew. She looked incredible. The breasts were awesome. But no one knew who she was in 1973. 3 years later, Three's Company comes out. She becomes a huge star. That nude scene, now all of a sudden, people recognized her and it became a big deal. And it's the only movie to see Suzanne Summers naked in. Now, I should point out that she had posed for a photographer in the early 70s. I don't know if it was before Magnum Force, but it was sometime in the early 70s, completely nude, bush, titties, the whole thing.
Suzanne, yes.
And Playboy somehow, then she becomes famous. Playboy acquired the image from the photographer, put them in their February 1980 issue, Suzanne Summers Nude, and it was full. And that was, to me, one of the greatest celebrity pictorials in Playboy because she had the big 70s bush, the big titties. She was like,
oh my God, these pictures
a big TV star
awesome.
when that happened. I mean, she was huge. That was a big, big deal. And I really, really, really am a big Suzanne Summers fan. That was really cool that she posted that.
I'm obsessed with her. Thank you for highlighting me to her Instagram, one, because I'm going to follow her. Two, this pictorial is insanely beautiful. Everything I like personally, the natural lighting. She's in nature. She's in a waterfall. Yeah, she's got the tan line. She's got the bush. But she's got a wonderful, natural, voluminous rack.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God. And I love ultra blondes like that. And she is ultra blonde. Whoa. I'm blown away, Skin. You really have made my day.
Yeah, let's just say that a young Mr. Skin enjoyed these pictures in Playboy many, many times. The February 1980 issue,
as you should have.
Yeah, I really, really, really love that pictorial. So, anyway, that was happened last week. And last but not least, I did want to mention. Well, next week I'm going to do something with horror movies. Because we're going to be near Halloween and talk about some horror movie nudity. Maybe my favorite horror movie nudes, which will be fun. But one of the characters you're going to probably see in maybe some commercials or old TV shows or referenced is Elvira. You know
Love
who Elvira is.
Yeah,
isn't she great?
Queen of sexy in my mind. Yes.
Yeah, love Elvira. Well, I did want to mention before I leave today for the podcast that did you know that Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, had done a nude scene in a movie? And I'm a great nude scene.
I don't think so, but I'm dying for you to tell me.
Well, I mean, listen. Elvira is so big to this day that I guess she's releasing this a new pinball machine. So she's out doing a lot of publicity for this right now. You may or may not see her in the next week.
Cool.
But when you see her, please go to MrSkin.com and check out a 1973 movie called Working Girls. And what's so funny about this, talk about someone who did this before they were famous. Like, she became famous in the 80s. She was an unknown actress. Her name's Cassandra Peterson. She's a redhead in real life. She's up on stage in just like panties and then no shirt, dancing up on stage. The scene goes on for like 2.5 minutes.
Got
it's pretty incredible.
Huge boobs. Who'd have thought?
Well, of course
we
she
knew
does.
she had huge boobs because of her Elvira costume. We don't know how much is push up and padding and whatever. Oh, that's all her. It's been all her. No need to doubt Elvira's rack ever again. She's insanely gorgeous. Redheaded, natural, or as Elvira. I'm just a huge fan of hers. I think she's so sexy. She's sexy.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people would, be blown away that she's actually done a
nude scene.
That she's actually done a nude scene, and I guess she was on an album cover, Tom Waits' album Small Change. That's another thing. But as far as a movie, dancing up on stage. you could see this, and I think people would be blown away. And it's kind of cool too when it's someone that you know real well and find out that they did a thing. And a quick little trivia about Working Girls. This movie was so obscure and such a piece of crap that when she became famous, the owners of the movie, and I can't blame them, they didn't even there was nothing redeeming about the movie. Like, there's no reason to watch it other than Elvira naked. Literally, they changed the name of the movie from Working Girls to Elvira naked.
Oh, no.
Even though she's only in it for like 2.5, 3 minutes up on stage, they changed the name. So if you were at like a Netflix in 99, 20 years ago, you would be scrolling around and see a movie called Elvira Naked with a picture of Elvira on it. And that was a smart move because the movie had, made no money. It's a horrible movie, but Elvira's naked, and it's just a kind of cool little trivia for Elvira.
I'm loving this show. I always love each individual podcast, but this one, you gave me a lot, Skin. You gave me Elvira. You gave me Suzanne Summers. So many things to watch on TV. I'm blown away right now. Episode 172 is one for the books, man.
Yeah, well, thanks. And next week, I'm going to be talking to you about some of my favorite horror movie nudes. And Andrew, some of the greatest nude scenes in the history of movies come from horror movies. So we'll put a pretty cool list together for you.
Well, I look forward to that. Thanks so much, Skin.
You're awesome. Thanks, Andrew.
This concludes another scintillating episode of the Mr. Skin Podcast. Subscribe to the Mr. Skin Podcast in iTunes and never miss a show. Thanks for listening.